Hello and welcome to the Fashion Edit, the wedding season special. I'm Chaiti Narula. My producer Vaishnavi Gaharwar and I have decided to put together some looks of 2022 that stand out of the pack this season. What's special in 2022? Couturiers now are looking at bridal wear and bridal trousseau in a very different light. So different cuts, different colors, different silhouettes, all of that is making way this season. Gone are the days when you used to wear the red and look like every other bride wearing those can-cans that make you look like a cake with those tassels which you might cringe on years later when you look at your wedding album. This time around, the colors are fresh, they're different, the cuts are different, silhouettes are different. So what's trending this season as far as bridal trousseau is concerned? Our report will just tell you now. The wedding season is here. And what do the brides want? In fact, what should they want? You decide the kind of bride you are and get on with these looks. The looks that set the tone this season are works by designers that look at wedding couture with a different lens and reinvent the idea of wedding couture completely. Case in point, Varun Bal's New Leaf collection. Falguni and Shane Peacock's Love Always collection embracing pastel hues. Shantanu and Nikhil's Capella collection. The looks from Rahul Mishra's Festive Couture edit. Tarun Tahilyani's Kashida-inspired saris, fiery florals like these from Sahil Kochar, or romantic nostalgia-inducing works from Anju Modi, and many such styles and designers that stand out. Bridal couture does not have to look the same old red lehenga with cake-like can-cans anymore. What is the biggest trend this season for weddings that you notice? Less bling, more bling, and the color palette.
You know, I would begin with saying that people now in today's day and time are much more aware than what they used to be earlier. So there's a big shift in trend. They know exactly what they want. They know, there's some changes that I've seen over the time. Is like, for example, the kind of colors that they're looking for. It's not the usual colors that everyone used to buy earlier. People are opting for more pastels, and I've actually seen a big change there, and which actually inspires us to do more and more experiment with more colors, more English colors also, and people are more open now.
Pastels are in every season because it is a certain kind of choice a person has, and some people just don't like jewel tones and dark tones. They only like pastels. So pastels are never going out.
A classic red bridal look is always timeless if you like to play safe. But you sure don't want to look back years later and cringe on some outlandish tassels. So pick the red well. If you are looking at a stylish affair at your wedding, you can opt for pastels and florals or even sequins done well, or a classic sutta work lehenga with metal work. That can be timeless too.
Florals are huge at the moment, and big florals are huge at the moment. So keeping that in mind, I would say that everyone just wants to have fun.
It is essential you pick the embroidery and silhouettes that work with your individual sense of style and go for some nostalgia too sometime. Repurpose your mother's heirloom jewelry or dupatta to complete your fera looks.
What did mom wear? What did mom have which she loved? Yes. And at the end of it, of course, it's about being conscious. It's about looking after the earth.
And what about the can-cans? Every bride wants to know how that would reflect years later when she looks at her wedding album.
When everything is fitted and slightly short on top, the time comes when there is volume at the bottom. We're feeling there is volume, but clients and people don't want to wear can-can underneath. but they would love the volume. So there is a dichotomy now. So there is a lot of innovation and technology that's coming into making of these clothes, which have the volume but don't have the can-can effect.
Most brides actually, when they go and buy this absolutely massive lehenga, choli, chunni, it just lies in their cupboard forever. If you have a can-can on, and it's kind of big, voluminous, and if you are smacking people around you, then it's too much.
And if you are the one to make an out-of-the-box fashion statement, there are ways to do that.
Women are wearing their lehengas with, with their sneakers, and there are these short blouses, there are knit blouses that they're wearing. They're even going to the extent of wearing a very heavily embroidered blouse with just a plain skirt. So a lot of mixed matches happening. People want to be easy now, more comfortable.
What I absolutely love for the current season is the rise of the pantsuit bride. They are actually saying no to just having to wear that red lehenga with the red chunni, etc. And they are saying hi to like basically genderless style.
At the end of the day, have fun. Choose cuts and silhouettes that work for your personality. Choose colors that make you happy and make sure the trousseau is not weighing you down and you are free to dance and make merry. In New Delhi, with inputs from Vaishnavi Gaharwar, Chaiti Narula for India Today. Our favorite is the Gen Z bride. The Gen Z bride is very different. She's not your regular bride who'll go with the same old predispositions of how she's supposed to look on a wedding day. She chooses pantsuits with a veil or a safa or an odhni at her wedding. She uses a bikini top as a blouse with a sari draped rather differently. She uses different colors, including blacks and whites, which are not traditionally an Indian wedding color. She really goes all out and experiments, including the plunging necklines and the sexy blouses. Here's a look at what the Gen Z bride should look like this season in 2022. The Gen Z bride is a lot more experimental. She does not typically do a red, but looks for different ways to express her individuality. Whether it is colors like black and white that are not your typical Indian wedding colors, or plunging blouses, or draping the sari different, or wearing a pantsuit for her own fairas, she experiments.
It just became very corporate in the past. Now pantsuits have become something that are a sense of freedom because it's all oversized. The jackets for women are very oversized. They're wearing it without anything underneath, so this is also very empowering.
What we are seeing is brides wearing these beautiful power suits with these pants, and maybe they're in like red, maybe they are basically with like sort of work on it. They are actually saying no to just having to wear that red lehenga with the red chunni, etc. And they are saying hi to like basically genderless style.
Corset blouses are a raging trend.
So this year and this season specifically, we've seen that the necklines have become very daring, and so they've also become quite scanty.
So we're actually seeing brides wearing these beautiful corsets with their lehengas, with their saris, and just kind of owning their own bodies, and just being sexy on their biggest day.
A big fashion statement is that of a pantsuit bride. Right from Suket Dheer to Payal Khandwala to Gaurav Gupta, the designers have tapped into the mindset of the Gen Z bride.
With so much happening on social media and there's so much more access to what is happening around the world, I think they have become a lot more fiercer in their thoughts. They have their own individuality, I feel.
They're fun-loving. They want not very heavy in weight. They want it to be responsible fashion, and they want it fun.
In fact, some of them are choosing to go with saris. The catch here is that the saris are draped differently, making a bold statement of individuality. From pre-drapes to sari with a belt, jacket over saris, palla drape to a swimsuit sari. Go ahead and experiment with your style.
what we're seeing now, it is so many beautiful ways, so many cool, interesting ways to be wearing your sari. One is with a belt. It just kind of cinches in your waist, makes it all fit in a much leaner way. Number two is with a little jacket, which you can either wear on top, even the swimsuit sari, right, where you actually wear a bathing costume underneath your basically sari. And what we're seeing is that everyone's wearing beautiful sequin saris, and they look very, very 90s Bollywood, but also quite nice and quite glamorous.
There is also a crafts revival, and do not be shy of the brocades, kanjivarams, banarsis, fabrics of the bygone era, as they are back with a contemporary twist. In New Delhi, with inputs from Vaishnavi Kaharwar, Chaiti Narula for India Today. You know, it is so boring to look like everybody else when you attend a wedding. Everyone is wearing the same lehengas, the same blouse, the same dupatta with the same color tones. Just go wild this wedding season, and couturiers are here to make that happen for you. There's a lot of experimentation going on when it comes to you attending a wedding is concerned and not looking like everybody else. Take a look. This season is all about different cuts, silhouettes, patterns that were never tried before, and going all out with sneakers over your lehenga or wearing a power suit to someone's wedding. It's also a time where comfort marries couture.
The idea is that the person can be absolutely free in their soul when they're wearing a sari. For brides especially, to be wearing a draped sari helps them to really focus on their event and that evening. And usually they wear it for a cocktail party. So they have a great time because they know that the sari will be secure and it's only a zip that is required.
I think COVID might have played a role in this. People want to have their comfort, and that's what we try and do and capture and also sell.
And if you want to make a maximalist statement, go for it. It's a time when your appearance has to make heads turn.
I think after COVID, people are just like, they just want to have maximum fun with their lives and do, I think their bucket list has become larger, that I want to wear the craziest outfit, I want to go to the craziest places, I want to party it out, so people really want to live it up completely. So I think that has really helped, that phenomena of going inwards has now come out in expression in the fashion universes and in the fashion world everywhere.
Depending on how you style them, you can wear it with a t-shirt, like I said, it'll be a casual outfit. You wear it with a sequined blouse, it'll be something else. You wear it with a cowl top, it'll look different. You wear just the blazer and some jewelry, it'll look hot. But what makes it more magical is what the person wearing it brings on board.
Also, for the ones who can't really carry it off with much attitude, dress up in one of the boss lady power suits like the ones from Suket Dheer or Gaurav Gupta. Wearing a pantsuit is very much in, it is very much this season, and why not? It gives you a beautiful, sharper look. Now, even if you're not doing a wedding with the Indian rituals and say you're getting married overseas for a destination wedding and you're looking at doing something white, why don't we knock off the gown and try a white pantsuit? What do you think about
This is something, what happens with the pantsuit. You look amazing on that day, and basically wearing something which is modern.
Yeah.
And while it is modern, and because of the textiles, it also has a huge amount of traditional quotient in them. So you are promoting our traditions, and you're also embracing the modern times. And at the same time, when you think about it, the blazer can easily be worn with the jeans later.
Prints like those of cars and animals are very much in. Neons, gothic, sequins to a denim sari is a statement. And for those who just want to have fun and do a quick ready to wear, there are plenty of options that can look stunning to any of the wedding parties.
I don't see very many brides having actual fun on their big days, you know, which isn't right, because the whole point, this is your own party, this is your own function. You know, you have actually hosted people to be there with like you. And I think that if a bride chooses to wear a deep blouse or a big metal palla or her mum sari or a jacket with a pair of pants, it is her choice. She should be comfortable, she should be having fun, she should be looking back at her own pictures 20 years from now and say, wow, that was very, very cool. And that is really what the bride has to aim for.
The rules have changed, women, but who makes the rules anyway? In New Delhi, with inputs from Vaishnavi Kaharwar and Riya Modi, Chaiti Narula for India Today. For many, many years, we've been listening to, oh my God, what is the bride going to be wearing for her wedding day? Well, this time around, it's 2022 and the focus has shifted even to the groom equally. And the talk of the town definitely is going to be, what is the groom wearing too? Because grooms are now becoming very stylish, thanks to all the couturiers who are making this happen for them. You can even go and experiment with a lot of prints. You can go vivid with the blue colors. You can also go ahead and choose a style that nobody has ever done before. So go ahead and experiment. Here's what you can do if you are a groom or a man attending a wedding for that matter. Bold colors, color blocks, the vivid look at me blues is the latest if you are attending someone's wedding as a guest. Or are a groom yourself, this is indeed the time to forget the fashion rules that have been making rounds for years now.
Traditionally, Indian men used to dress up a lot more. As much as women, you know, we would wear robes and drapes and turbans and jewelry and everything. So I think it's, men are totally out of the closet. They are literally dressing up.
Whether you are going for parties or you are going for attending someone's occasion or you're the groom yourself, they are experimenting. The man and the groom can just take off his jacket and just push his limits to enjoy his own function. And I think that's where a bit of functionality will come in.
What matters now in 2022 is to have a distinct fashion voice and go express your individuality.
Oh God, yes. 100%. I think there are two things that make a dulha and a dulhan. One is the occasion, obviously, and the other things are the accessories. You know, there is a sehra, there is a safa, there is a kamarband, there is a jaymala. No matter what you're wearing underneath that, you will look like a bride or a groom. And that is what people have forgotten. I mean, everybody ends up thinking that it's the clothes that make the groom or bride. I don't think so.
What we are seeing is now colors, you know, which are not just blue and white and black and grey, but we're actually seeing these beautiful floral printed outfits coming out. We're seeing men wearing earrings, wearing brooches, wearing rings, wearing bracelets, and just looking like the groom, you know, so they are also looking ultra special, like it's their big day as well.
Lehenga skirts recently have got nods, and accessories are no longer just for the women. Whether it is this look with lehenga skirts or an Antaragni anti-fit look, or the sharper expression on the lines of Gaurav Gupta's latest collection, the options are endless.
It is inspired by cosmic energy from, you know, otherworldly inspirations, extraterrestrial, meteors, comets, etc. So, you know, the collection and the styling and the vibe of it all came from there. And so what Siddharth wore was a long jacket, which is actually a modern sherwani, which had these three-dimensional, futuristic, meteoric birds flying down on one direction, and they were made in metal nails and bugle beads, etc. So it looked very futuristic.
Whites, nets, brocade suits for men, androgynous looks, sustainable fabrics are all very this season. retro with a modern 2022 appeal has the nod. What is the trend in menswear? Are the men becoming less shy of going the pastel and the, what do you call, floral route?
Of course, yes. And also not only that, now, the menswear market has also drastically and completely moved forward. People, now see, we are talking about the new generation, they are more aware. They want to not only experiment with the colors, but also with the silhouettes. If you have noticed, a lot of our stuff also has these jackets which are not your typical sherwanis. Like I'll just pull out one from here. So, the way this is, look at the panels, and they appreciate it, they like it. They like the fact that it's not like a usual sherwani.
If you are looking at signature classics, go for it. But to keep up with the trends, go for new innovative materials, textures and silhouettes like the ones from the recent Khanija showcase that we saw at the FDCI Lakme Fashion Week 2022 in Mumbai. In fact, Son of Noble Snob gave us the idea of quirky graphics for men on effortless silhouettes, and that can be a great look for men too. So keep up with the sartorial trends and go for the look of the season. With inputs from Vaishnavi Gaharwar and Riya Modi, Chaiti Narula for India Today. Weddings are also a lot about the wedding parties, which are far more fun than the fairas and the reception, and you will definitely agree with me on that one. So all these parties that surround a wedding, whether it is the cocktail party or the mehendi or the sangeet and what have you, why don't you just go ahead and make it your own Met Gala moment? After all, the couturiers are here with their beautiful structures and forms and making that happen for you. Choices these days are endless, and when it comes to all these Met Gala looking gowns and outfits, Amit Agarwal and Gaurav Gupta are standout designers who are really going all out experimental in their forms. Here's a look. New age cuts, structures, forms. For the cocktail parties and events around the wedding, try looks that stand out this season. Not just the women, the men too, FYI.
Of course, the design language is primarily a process. It's not that every collection is treated differently. I think we start with a concept and it kind of translates into feelings throughout multiple collections of the brand. Different kind of, different aspects of the human race have really started getting center stage is what we celebrated. And I think that it went beyond the idea of clothing into a true form of celebration.
Gilded gowns, suit shots with tuxedos, sculpture gowns, concentric tuxedos. Go for it this season.
It's very heartening to see that people are really looking up to futuristic and experimental design. But is also, and not just Met Gala moments. I think when a bride is wearing a Gaurav Gupta lehenga as well, which is not a traditional lehenga, because the lehenga looks like a gown, or it has a sculpted blouse, it has a ruffled dupatta, it has its meteoric embroideries, etc. So she's finding pride in a whole modern India or a modern Asian aesthetic.
Don't be bogged down. Make the wedding cocktails and parties nothing short of your own Met Gala moment. In New Delhi, with inputs from Vaishnavi and Riya, Chaiti Narula for India Today. We've shown you enough ways and reasons how you should do it. And go ahead and express your own style and individuality. After all, fashion trends come and they go. They are seasonal. But when it comes to style and individuality, it's always going to remain timeless, and it's always going to be what you want to express to the world. So have a happy wedding season and go ahead, don't forget to experiment. Take care.